in the beginning.
No, you know what? How it's hey, welcome to our show, everybody. We're just in the middle of a conversation of how the podcast started. So yes, just get it, and we'll do a cold open. Why not? I pressed the button a little too early. It started with Vu and I. We did a 25-minute episode that was terrible. The recording sounded really bad, and it was a review of Guardians of the Galaxy 3. I ended up just never releasing it. That's technically episode 1.
It's for the Patreon.
Yeah, and Vu was like pumped up about it. Yeah, it's for the Patreon. Yeah.
Yes, he was,
Yeah, and he was actually pumped up about it. But those who have listened to it and who have heard it, because that, someday we'll release the tapes. But until then,
right before we host the Oscars.
Yeah, right before we host the Oscars, we'll put it on the big board. Once they have it at the Sphere. Have you guys seen the Sphere?
It's crazy.
Not in real life.
Oh my God! Well, hey, welcome to Filmaholics episode 12, where we talk about everything except for movies. And the first topic today is the Sphere. My God, does that look insane though? Actually, but you guys are probably hearing the voices loud and clear. We've got Brad, who is back from a nice little week hiatus last week, and then we got Kenny here as well. Now, Brad. Did you want to talk about your fun little story you had last week, or not really for the pod? It don't have to by any means, but just went
on a little psychedelic adventure.
Yeah, a journey.
A journey, one could say.
Yeah, one could say a journey. Have you ever heard, Kenny? Did we ever talk to you about Meow Wolf when you came to visit here?
Wait, just like loosely. I don't know. No, that doesn't sound familiar, but
It's like a museum that looks like Blade Runner, a Blade Runner world mixed with how else would like a Star Wars mixed with like anything sci-fi, cyberpunk, would you say as well? Maybe cyberpunk.
Future Run.
But also like mystical foresty.
Yes, that's a different. Yep, you're right about that. It's like you're on a different planet essentially, and that's like the idea of it. Is it technically like in a museum? What is it?
I think it's like an art experience.
Yeah. Something we would definitely recommend if you come by next. People go either stoned. We're not condoning that. I mean,
sobriety not encouraged.
Yeah. You don't want to go sober essentially. Have you ever done psychedelics, Kenny? Again, we're not releasing this to the families or anything, or to the authorities, but I have, and Brad did it for the first time.
That's awesome. No, I not successfully tried once. They were just caps and they didn't work.
Oh, no shit. The caps didn't work?
I don't know. It was years ago, so just didn't get around to trying again. But it's maybe about to be legalized in California soon, so
I bet it is. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
I bet Minnesota is just going to talk about the idea of legalizing it for 20 years and then be about 15 years behind everybody else.
Vu is saying he's enjoying the new edibles, so
all right,
he's taking advantage of it.
Wait, is Vu taking advantage of edibles?
Well, they can only sell I think at most less than 5 milligrams. I don't know, not a normal amount. Yeah, I mean, it's Vu. One is enough for him.
We'll have to do an episode of our top 5 stoned movies. I feel like.
Ooh, I like that.
That's good.
That'd be kind of a fun one. That'd be a really good one. I think we should all do sometime. You know what? Hey, this is a movie podcast and TV podcast. We haven't talked about it yet, but you know what? Let's jump right into it for today's episode. We got a lot of topics, ladies and gentlemen. I feel like last week was a great episode dedicated to the end of Ahsoka. Just kind of the entire episode was really dedicated to Star Wars in general. I feel like we put a lot of good knowledge into it. Kenny, I thank you so much for that. And I think it was just a fun little offshoot episode that we had last week. So I'm glad we're kind of back to normal here. But hey, that's all right. And we're gonna be going through the movie news with the writer's strike out. There's more movie news coming every single day, and I think we should start off with maybe the top article this past week. I'm getting so many text messages. I hope you guys can hear this. I'm cool.
Subtle brag.
Yeah, subtle brag. You guys getting texted too right now?
I haven't got a text for a day.
Yeah. Oh my God. It's Dwyer just being dummy. But, okay. The first article we're going to talk about is drama with Aquaman 2, or as the article says, Aquaman 2 flooded with drama. And I think this is the big movie news of the week. And I think we've kind of been talking about this, Brad, for the last, and Kenny, We've been talking about DC. It's really half of our shows is usually probably with like the DC
just
drama.
DC drama. Yeah.
It's just DC drama and kind of like what's the future of DC going to be like? And I feel like this article gave us a lot of insight into what we can expect. I mean, what were some of the big things that came out of it? We got Amber Heard essentially being harassed by, or at least that's what she thought. She had, what was it? She had notes from her therapist.
It was her therapist. It was her therapist's notes that got brought into the court.
Yes, that's what it was. Yep. Which that seems like a waste of money. We should put money towards better things. But
I didn't know that you can like do that. You
did not know that either. To
get any court cases, like transcripts or whatever out.
What about OJ's? Where's OJ's stuff? Like I want to see what his is, or I don't know if there's other ones too. You guys have on top of your head, but yeah. Well, you guys got any cool ones you guys want to talk about sometime? We should. So let me share the screen. Aquaman 2. Boom. I kind of like this cover, first off. Let's start off with that. The idea of you got smoldering Jason Momoa, Elon Musk, James Wan, Amber Heard. What are we in for? All right, so here we go.
Get an Ice Spice promo in the bottom right with Taylor Swift.
Yeah, dude, what? This would be a movie I'd like to see. Imagine if Aquaman was promoting a movie with Ice Spice, Taylor Swift, Elon Musk. Now, the thing that's kind of funny about this, or not funny, just Kenny is a big James Wan fan. I feel like you want to make sure that he, you know, what they're putting out with the Aquaman.
I'm here to defend him. Don't worry.
You're here to defend him. Okay, gotcha. So I think one of the big things is that so what we found out were a few things. That Jason Momoa apparently showed up to the set and came off. I guess he would show up to the set drunk. This is according again to these Amber Heard documents that were in the court. He showed up drunk, dressing kind of like Johnny Depp is how she described him. And apparently that he was trying to essentially get her fired. So when we hear that, that's not exactly the best recipe for creating a great film or even having good chemistry with maybe the two big love interests of the film itself either. Brad and then Kenny as well. When you hear this, Brad, when you hear that, what goes to your mind? Or I guess, have you read the article? Were there other things?
I have.
Yeah, what was the other thing that kind of blew your mind?
It just sums up that this pre-gun DC universe is an absolute shit show. Oh, Lord.
Yep.
And it's limping to the checkpoint or the end point, you know?
Yes. You're so right about it. That's a great way to put it, man. Kenny, what else do you want to add to that?
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree. I think it's all just bullshit. Like, Amber Heard is a proven liar with everything she said. I'm over it. No one wants to talk about this anymore. Like, it's all so old and boring, and like none of this is even like
months.
Yeah, like none of this is like new. Like, this is just what Amber Heard said to a therapist. That doesn't mean any of it's true.
Yep.
Like, she's a proven liar. She could say literally anything to a therapist. Like, I don't believe any of it.
I kind of agree. That's what I thought. I read.
This is all boring, just like today's Will and Jada Smith stuff. Like, it's not news. We don't need to talk about this. It's dumb. Get over it.
Yep. And the idea that it's a headline for a Variety article,
that's
a little crazy. I think what's the other things that made it kind of consequential is one, they just want to throw more gasoline on the fire. The idea that DC is a shit show right now.
Mm-hmm.
We all get it. We all know that. We've heard that. I think what they said is they're showing screen testings. So far, the screen testings are showing reviews of 60. I'm assuming that 60 out of 100, not ideal. That means 60. I don't know how this works, but I think that means 60 out of 100 people are essentially saying they liked it, which is not.
Yeah, that was the score pre-reshoots, and it's still the score post-reshoots.
Yeah,
so, not good.
I mean, Kenny or Brad, I don't know if you did, but did you see the first one?
I did, and I really enjoyed it.
You really enjoyed it?
Yeah.
Kenny, I'm guessing you saw the first one too?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was cheesy, but it was like probably one of the better DC movies, honestly.
Yeah,
and it hit $1 billion. Like, the visual effects were amazing. I left the theater thinking, like, there was this huge sea war in just this movie. How are you supposed to top that?
Yeah.
It was just
the water
scale of it was huge. Yeah, the visual effects of it were amazing. How did they top that for the second one? And to be completely honest, I still am looking forward to the second one because the trailer actually looks good. And again, I love James Wan. So, like, with the reduced Amber Heard role, the sky's the limit. Come on.
Yeah. What do you think, Brad? Are you going to see the second one?
Yeah. I mean, I got A-list,
Exactly.
Shout out AMC.
Yeah, shout out AMC. They're not sponsoring us yet, but in time. Dude,
you guys are A-list. I'm Cinemark Movie Club.
Hey, that's all right. That's all right. We have
Same
a friend
thing.
named Secord who's joining. He says Christina wants him to join the Alamo Draft House Club, whatever the hell that is. And then we'll stick to AMC. I love AMC myself, but I think other news that came out of this is that, okay, of course, so they're talking about how Aquaman, they're essentially, one thing that was announced as well is that none of the superheroes from the original Justice League are going to be brought back for this new DCU, which makes sense. You get a new coach in the NBA or NFL, MLB, whatever sport it may be. Usually they want to kind of, they want to hire new personnel, things along those lines. I mean, I am a little sad that we're not getting, out of all of them, who was probably the best for you guys? If you had to bring one back, Vu would probably say the Flash, but
we were talking about that yesterday.
Flash guy.
Yeah, big Flash guy. But no, out of all of them, who would you guys say you wish was coming back?
Give me Ryan Reynolds now as Green Lantern again.
I think James Gunn would do him justice.
Yeah, he might actually. You never know. What about you, Kenny? I'm not sure if that's Brad's real answer, but we'll take it. That's in the history books forever. For me, I wish Henry Cavill. I loved Henry Cavill, and I thought he did a great job as Superman. Personally, myself,
I like them all, honestly. Except for Ezra Miller. I think everyone was pretty well casted for a not fresh superhero. Like they weren't all the origins and stuff. Like Ben Affleck's Batman in The Flash was his best one yet. I like Henry Cavill,
you're saying the best Batman, not
best,
the best Bruce Wayne.
best Ben Affleck Batman performance.
In which one? Sorry.
Flash.
The Flash. Yeah. No, you're right. He even said it during that. He felt like
he said
really
it. So
figured it out.
Yeah. So I liked him a lot, so probably either him and this maybe. I just like Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. Like obviously 1980 whatever movie sucked.
1984.
But I thought she was great in the first one, and she looks great in the costume, and I like her as Wonder Woman. But
what's funny is she can't act any different besides Wonder Woman. Like she literally acts like the same person in every movie she's in. She's not a good actress to me. Besides Wonder Woman.
That's another Ezra Miller type. See?
Right, exactly, dude. Oh god, I never liked Ezra Miller from the start as being the Flash. I've always thought as the Flash as like not being so goofy and so like he came in with it. And again, he tried saying that he thinks the Flash was a little autistic, which is fine.
He said.
Yes, he was alluding to it. I guess that was kind of his idea of going about it. I never thought of the Flash like that ever in any of the comics or any of the cartoons I watched growing up. So to me, I didn't like that. I guess acting style for him, but whatever. To each their own. Some people liked him before he started all the drama. And then the whole Elon Musk thing. Now that's something I completely forgot. Is that, and just to let you guys know again, if there's anybody listening who's an Amber Heard fan, I'm just not sure. Anyone was
that way?
Yeah. But Elon Musk, it being her ex, I forgot about that they brought him up during because I watched the Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard trial thing on Netflix, and I forgot that she's dated Elon Musk in the past, and he's not necessarily the straightest arrow in the world, I guess, when it comes to now depending who you're a fan of. I think he's just a little weird. I think we all can agree on that. But I think that was just kind of crazy idea that he could control Warner Brothers from essentially firing her from her role. Just a scathing letter from Elon Musk. What does this man rule the world at this point now that he owns? I mean, he's one of the richest guys in the world to get, but it just kind of blew my mind. And I get it. When you're that rich, you could essentially put a company like Warner Brothers out of business with his money. He could focus his money and power into putting something like that out if he really, really wanted to waste all of his money on that. Why even have drama on it?
This was pre-Twitter purchase, Elon, so maybe he was taken a little bit more seriously.
Yeah. That's just a very good point.
Just a very little bit. His net worth was a little bit more.
Yep. Yeah. So I don't know. And I think another thing that came out of this is, I mean, really what it's just saying is it's just re-emphasized what we've all known. DC's in trouble. James Gunn has a very monumental task at hand, which is to essentially make sure that the new DCU has to be a success, and I think it starts with Superman Legacy. Something that when it comes to Superman Legacy that they kind of announced, didn't confirm, but they're hearing that's the rumbling is that Jason Momoa is now going to be Lobo. Brad, I know you're the comic guy here, and Kenny, I know you're a comic guy as well. Brad, give me this idea first. Lobo, have you heard of him? Have you seen him in the comics before? I know he's very similar to what Jason Momoa is like in real life.
Yeah, I believe Lobo is like a vampire. I believe, and he rides a motorcycle, kind of like a badass. I want to say anti-hero.
Okay, so he's not.
I think he's a bounty hunter.
Yeah, so sometimes he's bad, but sometimes he can be good. But this is where I'm confused. Like, I feel like them doing this kind of thing. Like, if he comes back as Lobo, Viola Davis is gonna come back.
John
Cena's piece. Like, this is where I get confused because like you're not fully cut and dry. You're like kind of bringing in some traces of the old, and I feel like that's just going to confuse because the old DC was a shit show. So you got to get away from it. You got to just distance yourself, and this way you're not distancing yourself.
I will say that Peacemaker is the highest rated show Warner Brothers has ever put out at 98% right now with John Cena. So I can understand that, and Amanda Waller. What's her name?
Viola Davis.
Viola Davis. It's hard to cut somebody like that off.
No, she's a legend. No,
she's a legend. I wanted to say. Sorry, were you gonna say, Kenny?
I just wanted to say, like, yes, to what Brad said that the DCU was a shit show, but it was not everything that James Gunn touched, and that's why it's keeping it that way. And I don't think it'll be hard to look past that. Like,
if you put a good product out, I think we'll all forget.
Exactly. So
we'll all forgive and forget.
It's not going to be a big deal eventually. Like, and plus James is going to do it in a proper way that isn't going to confuse people.
Yeah.
Like he even just said the other day, Peacemaker season 2, now that the writer's strike is over, is like moving forward again, and it will like be addressed. Like it'll be a season 2, but it'll be in the DCU and it'll be addressed. So
I do recommend, Brad, if you want to get kind of an idea of what to expect out of this is something I feel like everyone forgets because Peacemaker is just not a big. And it's based off of a very non-profitable IP, which is the Suicide Squad, which was a good movie as well. But if you look back, I feel like Peacemaker is going to essentially be that's why they hired James Gunn specifically to be. It's going to be more Peacemaker compared to Guardians of the Galaxy, if you had to ask me. I mean, and I guess so I do recommend, Brad, you checking out Peacemaker. It's a great show. It gets better and better. That's one thing about it too. The character development for John Cena too is just great. And you hear John Cena, you go, the wrestler, what? He's an actor. He's kind of a comedian in most movies. It's his best. He epitomizes Peacemaker. I don't think there could have ever been another Peacemaker without him.
How do you describe the show? Like, what is it?
Kenny, do you have a good way of describing it? I feel like you're a big James Gunn guy. I mean,
I don't even know how to describe it. It's such a silly show.
He's a D-list superhero who's essentially a vigilante, yes. And he wasn't even necessarily a good guy. He was in the Suicide Squad, wasn't even a good guy in the Suicide Squad. So when you see him, he's still kind of like that super douche. He thinks he's essentially
he's in jail. So
he's in jail. He will kill at all costs to have peace. That's his motto. Like the idea that
he will kill kids in the name of peace.
In the name of peace. Like that's kind of what it is.
He will suck dick in the name of peace.
Yep, exactly.
This was in Suicide Squad. He said he would. This is a quote.
If it's in the name of peace.
If it's in the name of peace, he will do literally anything. But like he has this skewed sense of peace and justice stemming from his like super conservative. He's just racist. Right. He's from the South, far right. I don't know if this is the right terminology, but he's from the South, and in a Peacemaker show, his dad's backstory gets shown. He's like a super racist and blah blah blah. But his son isn't anything like him, so he like develops his sense of justice from like the kind of the opposite of his dad, which is a good thing in the end. But also, his dad was really fucked up, so that's why he's still fucked up.
Okay.
It's really fun. It's very serious, but it's still light. It has it all, just like Guardians does. Like it'll make you laugh, it'll make you cry.
It does. It really does have some really emotional scenes. I mean, and they also have good characters. Again, one thing that James Gunn nails is the best at and this is something DC didn't really have, was somebody who could kind of spearhead a direction. They kind of had Zack Snyder, but his direction was so off course, and then he had to leave. So then everything kind of just went, way off of probably what the plan was. But we talked about that a little bit on one of the episodes. He just can create characters who you may have never heard of, or you may have heard of in comic book number 99 of Superman and Green Lantern. It's and you can make a good story behind it. So we talk about this. We just want good characters in the DC, and I think he that's one thing he really does excel at.
He made all of the supporting cast in Peacemaker. They are just as good as John Cena.
Exactly. Yes.
Like the like his, not Suicide Squad people, like his squad of people, but even like the cops that were kind of going against them. Those cops, you like them. You actually like them. Like every supporting actor and actress still was written very well for that show. You
had emotional connection to whether you liked him or you hated him. It really was like you either liked him or there was not a lot of in between, which I kind of like. I think other than that, pretty much this article just said, and then it's like it just shits on Aquaman and DC, and then it ends with like, hey, Aquaman comes out this December. Check it out in theaters. And was there anything else we missed? Essentially, just really what we.
It was interesting. They talked about China and the China numbers a little right up there. Like, it got 300 million, I think, the first Aquaman. And then they're like, yeah, Barbie, and there was another movie that came out, like only got 30 million.
Yeah, dude. That's where it made not most of it. I don't know what it did domestically, but like, that's kind of crazy that China just fell in love with it. China loves that, and they love the Alita Battlefield Angel. I don't know if you're.
That is a great movie.
Yep, I love that movie.
I know. Waiting for the sequel.
Still.
Yeah.
The domestic box office for Aquaman was 335 million.
Oh my god! So it was barely less than the domestic.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, China. It's that's one thing that like years ago, like China loves. Like I think they love like Fast and Furious gets a lot of their money from China.
They just get action, and
yep,
Aquaman had a lot of action. So
exactly. So yeah. Anything else you guys wanted to add to this before we move on? I mean, really, it's just that
I would like to defend my boy James Wan on this. If you read this in Amber Heard,
you may take the stand.
Amber Heard said that she was also Amber Heard said to a therapist that made it into this that James Wan was also on board trying to get her fired. There's no way this is true. James Wan. I mean, I don't know the guy, but I know that he has so many of his friends wanting to always do all of his movies. Patrick Wilson, for example, was in Insidious and Conjuring and Aquaman. Like, he loves this guy. His people love James Wan. They want to keep working with him. There's no way that he would create a toxic environment for Amber Heard to be fired. Like, he's a professional. He makes really good movies. I don't believe it. There's just no way.
And they even back him up after that too.
They back him up, yeah. Like his spokesperson or whatever said so. Like, people love working with him. He creates a very good work environment. Blah blah blah. It's all, the whole article is bullshit.
Yeah,
dumb.
Yeah. Here's this. Amber Heard crazy. Johnny Depp crazy. You put two crazies in a room. It's like putting two koi fish in a
beta fish.
Two beta fish, not a koi fish.
Koi fish would live very peacefully.
They'd be going asking for food. Two beta fish into one single spot. They're gonna go at each other. So it is what it is. I think we were able to move on from this article onto article number 10, which for Let Me Hear Ya is we're talking about, and this one's the more. Just because I'm such a big Christopher Nolan fan, I wanted to discuss this, but the rumors going around the internet, nothing's being announced. There was like maybe a hint of it in one of these Variety articles I was reading recently, but one of the big things is that one of the big rumors and why we haven't heard an announcement yet of what Christopher Nolan's next project is the idea that Christopher Nolan may be directing James Bond. Yeah. Yep. He said Nolan previously said taking on the franchise would be an amazing privilege. Are you guys, first off, before we go into this, who here loves Christopher Nolan? I mean, we can probably all agree he's a top 3 director, if not number 1, if you're asking.
He is the greatest director of all time ever.
All right, Brad, we love to hear it. That's a fact. No opinions on this one. Actually, we're all opinions, no facts. We're all feelings here.
I like him, but I don't worship him like you guys do.
No, you don't. No, yeah, no. I would.
Nothing against him. Totally nothing against him or anything. I know he's a great director, but honestly, I haven't seen enough of his movies.
Yeah.
I really
have you not?
Tenet still. I didn't see. Did he direct Oppenheimer? Right.
Oppenheimer. Tenet,
I didn't watch Oppenheimer. Didn't watch Tenet. I really wanted to watch Tenet. Honestly, I think last Christopher Nolan movie I watched was did Inception come out before or after his
Dark
Batman
Knight
movies? Okay.
After.
Then I watched all of his.
Why haven't you seen The Dark Knight?
No, I have. I watched all the Dark Knights and Inception.
You haven't seen The Prestige?
Interstellar, Memento.
I've seen Interstellar. I was telling Kevin, I've seen bits of Interstellar. I haven't watched a full.
Why haven't you? Wait.
We talked about this. I know. I'm behind on this, and I know. I just
that's his homework.
Yeah. We know you and Vu together.
I know the music of Interstellar. I've seen the parts of it. I know the visual effects of Interstellar, but I just haven't I just didn't sit down and watch it. I think the most I watched when it was on FX one time, and I probably missed the beginning, but I watched maybe 3/4 of it.
What has not made you want to you know how Peacemaker, he will kill in the name, suck dick in the name of peace. I will kill and suck dick in the name of Christopher Nolan.
Me too.
After a certain amount of time when a movie comes out, and if I don't watch it, it's just not what I'm going to get to. Because there's just so much more coming out all the time. I want to. But look, I really do.
There's more interesting than Christopher Nolan movies.
It's not that it's more interesting. It's just and there was a span of time when I just wasn't watching theater movies, or I was only watching Marvel movies.
That's understandable.
I'm not a hater by any means. No, I know he's good.
You're just not knowledgeable.
I'm just not knowledgeable. Sorry, this episode it's not my forte.
Yeah, what the fuck? No, that's all right, man.
You think you know a guy.
Yeah. You think
you know the second time meeting you.
Hey, you think you know a guy, damn it. Well, hey, let's go back into it. Try to add as much as you can. Kenny, it seems like you don't understand a lot of things outside of so let's try your best.
Hey, I got my stuff for the horror bit. Don't worry.
No, you got it, dude. No, you'll be fine.
That's why I keep saying Insidious instead of Inception. I'm still James Bond. That's all I'm doing.
What was it say? So how about this? Are we James Bond fans?
Yeah.
I think that's everyone's definite. If you're still alive, today, if you've seen the old one, I feel like James Bond has no longer become the household. It's just an old character. You know what I mean? Kenny, are you a fan? So I didn't really hear you. Brad gave me a little bit.
Not really. I think as a child I watched maybe some, but then Casino Royale is the only one I really remember watching, and then maybe the one that came out after that. But then the one after that was Skyfall, right? But I haven't seen.
Yes.
I think I only watched Casino Royale.
Skyfall, and then there was one where they're wearing the skull masks.
Yeah, I don't.
I can't think, but yeah. So we're not the most knowledgeable James Bond group here. I think we're more of a Christopher Nolan group here. I think the reason why this is such a big thing is because if you guys probably, I don't know if you've ever seen the older James Bond, they're a little more campy, a little more kind of goofy. Of course they're serious, but what James Bond represents is essentially a man of the era at the time. So 60s, 70s, 80s, he's always represented kind of that man. And in today's world, James Bond is no longer really truly a James Bond of that time. You can't really be a sexualizing, not misogynistic, but just, he can't slap a girl on the ass and tell her to get out of the bathroom, or, there's a scene.
Can't do anything anymore.
You can't do it. Yeah. What can you do? No, what I'm trying to say is that the idea that I think what they're trying to do is that Christopher Nolan would essentially bring a little bit more legitimacy back to James Bond, kind of the same way that he brought back legitimacy to Batman. Right before the Batman movies, you would probably know they're some of the worst Batman. Batman and Robin was terrible. I like the first Batman, the one with directed by the guy who does all the Johnny Depp movies, Scissors Hands. What's his name? God damn it, he's a spooky guy. Nobody knows.
Tim
Burton. Thank you, Tim Burton. So did the first one, the Joker was fine.
I beat you, Brad.
Yeah. I knew one of you.
And I was like, I'm waiting.
I was only waiting for the love of God will somebody look this up. But I think what people also liked about these new James Bond was that James Bond essentially made more of a serious Bond because they were using a lot of the techniques and a lot of the storytelling, they did a lot of things very similar to what Christopher Nolan was doing with the Dark Knight. Both came out during kind of the same time period as well, when the Batman Beyond with this with James Bond Casino Royale. Just there was a lot of similarities, and I think it just makes a lot of sense to keep that seriousness, which we just got in the last movie, which is No Time to Die, which was still very, very good. Just a lot more serious compared to the old James Bond movies. I think out of all of us, I probably watched James Bond the most. But just the idea of Christopher Nolan taking on a character like this, especially after seeing something like Oppenheimer. And also the rumor also with that is that he may want Cillian Murphy to be the next James Bond as well. Because Cillian Murphy's in his late 30s. It's more of a he's more of kind of like a modern day version of what James Bond would be, I feel like, compared to like a Tom Hardy or like an Idris Elba, who's a little older, but a lot of people are pushing him.
I would love to see Idris Elba play that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you guys have any thoughts on like would you want Christopher Nolan? Would this be interesting to you to see finally James Bond having Christopher Nolan at the helm, maybe the greatest director in today? And two, what kind of actor would you like to see be his next James Bond? And I just went on that long tangent, if that made any sense.
I mean, obviously excited to see anything that the man puts out, especially in such a classic series as James Bond. Idris Elba would be sweet. I think I saw this. I think it was a joke, but Daniel Radcliffe would be cool.
Okay. I want him as the next Wolverine, low-key.
Oh, maybe that's what we were. Okay, maybe
that's what we were talking about.
No, it was Taron Egerton was the.
We talked about in like episode 1 or 2. There was rumors that he might be.
You want Daniel Radcliffe?
No, well, I don't know. Harry Potter. I don't know if he can do it. But Taron Egerton, I think, is the number one right now. Yeah, I think so too. Anyone else? Yeah, what do you think, Kenny?
I think it'd be cool. It seems like a logical next step for him to do James Bond, but I think like for what James Bond is, like he can't make it like too like conceptual or do any big twists. That's not what James Bond fans want to see. Like they'd be too confused. They can't do Inception or Tenet. It just needs to be straightforward. Bad guy, get him. Finn, get the girl. You know.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought Idris Elba said no to Bond because people were bringing up race, and he was just disgusted by the whole thing.
Yeah, I think he would rather play an original character too, and it just be the same thing at the end of the day.
There's a lot of pressure to be James Bond. Plus, I think that the person who's going to be James Bond is going to sign like a 15-year contract to be James Bond. You can't be James Bond. You can't be 60 years old, like Idris Elba, 66 years old, and try to be James Bond. That'd be a little difficult. Yeah, I just think this is something that's kind of cool to see. I think now if he could somehow, like The Dark Knight, that wasn't really necessarily that big old time twist, making all crazy. He just made a great film, and I think people more want that compared to like a Tenet, compared to like a Prestige or anything. God, Interstellar. So I think personally myself, I'd be excited to see it. I think anybody would be, and it'd be kind of fun for him just to take a franchise on again. So any closing thoughts on this one? I think this one's kind of a quicker.
Anything he touches is gold. So just wait.
Yeah, it's so true. I love.
Does he have any like actually like just mid movies or anything? Like are they all really that good?
Mid movies, yes, it definitely does. I mean,
people say Tenet is not his
definitely.
greatest.
People say Tenet. If you can tell me without looking online what Tenet is at the end of the movie, I'll call you a liar.
That's the one. That's what I want to watch the most, just because I love the main actor in that. I like him a ton, and the concept of it. I don't know. The trailer had me hooked. I just didn't get around to watching it, but like, I like those twisty ones. I never get them.
I know, dude. I never do either. Like, I'm on YouTube right after.
But yeah, I'm like, I don't. I'm kind of on the opposite end of like, I don't. That's why I like didn't watch like James Bond's like those campy movies where it's just typical. I don't like
typical spy
movies that it's all action. Yeah, spy things like that. Like I want more of a make me think about something.
Yeah.
So that's why.
That's your director then.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I mean, so yeah, I should. I was so young watching even any of the Dark Knight movies. I'd love to rewatch them. I haven't in so long.
God,
so like,
yeah.
But Tenet is for sure up there. She for sure has not seen them.
You gotta watch
Yeah.
Prestige.
I haven't even heard of this one.
Hugh Jackman, Christian Bale,
2006. Prestige.
I think it was the first Christopher Nolan I watched. Didn't even know it was. I didn't know who Christopher Nolan was at that point.
Thriller film. All right.
But it is superb.
Watch the trailer. That it looks insane.
Okay.
It's a great movie. I would say this too, dude, is that I think Were there any other mid movies from Christopher Nolan? I don't really think so. That's why he's such a prolific director right now. I mean,
he hasn't made a ton.
Oh, he was only at 1, 2.
Some people may say Dunkirk just because it was so boots to the ground
11
compared to all of his other movies. Dunkirk's, so maybe it would be like the two maybe
but
would
still
be
a really good
Dunkirk.
war movie.
It's still very much good. It's just not as crazy as what it used to.
Yeah.
I wanted to watch that one too because I like the act. Wait, is that the one with? Is that Barry? No, never mind. I take it back.
Yeah, it has that guy.
Is that the
The Irish guy?
the Irish guy. Yeah, Barry.
Yeah, he's in it.
Oh, Barry Keoghan, or whatever. Yeah, I like him. So this was also okay. I didn't even know Christopher Nolan directed that one either. Cool. Sorry.
Hey, nobody's perfect, as Hannah Montana would say. All right, cool. So then I think we're good to move on. I'm trying to. There's one more thing I want to say about Christopher Nolan. I just blanked out on it. We brought this up months ago on one of our first. Oh, that Mission Impossible has now become like the better version of James Bond. Now that's what I just wanted to say, but that goes on another 20-minute diatribe. And Secord's messaging me about joining our chat soon, our podcast. Here, we should just send it over his way. He can sit in silence.
Yeah, let's go into the movie reviews and then into our scary scenes.
I think we should. I'll invite him right now. Yeah, I was just gonna say. I mean, I think one thing a lot of people complain about, but until he joins, I'll say a lot of people complain about the idea that the Mission Impossible movies. Brad has never seen a Mission Impossible movie. He saw this most recent one, loved it.
Well, yeah, that's not true.
Which one?
I think that was Vu. That wasn't me. I've seen.
Oh, have you seen other ones?
I saw other ones.
Like 4?
I
haven't seen like the last 3.
That's what it was. Sorry,
yeah.
You're right.
Yeah. But it was incredible. It was fucking great.
Yeah, we had a really good time. It was 3 hours, and Brad
flew
said
by.
Flew by. Kenny, have you seen any of them?
Not maybe as a child in one of the earlier ones, but not any in the last 10 plus years.
Gotcha. All right, cool. Well, hey, if we get more Mission Impossible out of James Bond, I think that all of us will be happy campers. And in the party, waiting to be added to it, returning, reigning, defending horror.
Is he sober?
Yeah, horror king. Yeah, there we go.
Sir.
Anthony Secord is back. It's been maybe we're on episode 12. You're on episode 5, I think, with Nick Cartwright. So it's been about 7. But
nice.
Seek, how the hell are you doing, my friend? Welcome to the podcast.
I'm feeling great. Feels great to be back on the pod. Had such a fun first episode, and feels great to be back on. I feel honored to be invited back.
Hey, that's what I love. I love that this is just this podcast is going to be reaching out to the millions and millions around the world. And it's all just my friends. That's the best part about it all. Yeah.
Millions and millions of friends.
Every Sunday, we're all on the red carpet, dapper as hell, and it's just because we're just all friends with each other. So, we just went through a few articles. I just now what we're going to do is Brad had a homework topic of reviewing Logan. You've seen Logan, correct, Secord? I think you have.
A while ago. Long time when it came out. I saw it in theaters.
Yep, same. Yeah. So he's going to give his review on Logan, and then Kenny, did you see Loki episode 1?
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to do that. Our quick review on that. I want you to add in like throughout for either. Or
you told me I was on here for horror movies.
Yeah, and then that's what we're doing.
You're going to join in, so he let you in early.
Yep, we got you in a little early today. Just wanted you to.
No worries.
So if you have anything to add as well, dude, and then
I'll chime in.
Top 5 scenes, yeah. Chime in. You're pretty quippy last time. That's why we have you on here. So, Brad, give us a review, my friend, of Logan, the movie behind me, right there.
Yeah, Kevin, I'm gonna be breaking your heart, and that's why I wanted to wait.
No.
So I did watch Logan with FAP's #1 fan, and so we were watching it, and overall, I gave it like a 7.5.
Okay,
ouch.
That's not terrible. Yeah, ouch indeed. I'm hurting.
No, that's terrible.
I don't know. I guess I wasn't seeing what you were seeing. It was just like one long chase scene for a little girl, and then I just wanted more mutants.
Okay.
That's kind of the point of the movie, though.
Yeah.
It's
That's
what I like.
You're right. It's not an X-Men film at all.
Nope.
No.
I don't know. It didn't seem to have much substance, I guess. I didn't pick up a lot of substance.
Don't you like the other Marvel movies though?
No, I'm not a big Marvel guy.
Okay. I was gonna say,
but he's an X-Men guy, I think, right?
Okay.
Well, I mean, like, I'm not a big X-Men fan, but I like all the different mutants and different powers and stuff.
Okay, so yes, how they describe Logan is kind of like a Western. As you can see from the poster, it even gives like kind of a Western vibe in a way. It's like a man on a mission. Again, it's a grounded story, but I myself, great character development, great acting. It was rated R. There had never been a rated R superhero film up to that time. So when you're that first scene, they just start with him just jabbing his freaking.
It's like Deadpool did first.
Did they? Oh.
Yeah, that's why they let Logan be R.
Oh, yeah. Is that what happened?
Yeah.
Kevin, would you put Logan above any of the Dark Knight trilogy movies?
No. Oh, above Dark Knight Rises, yes.
Above Dark Knight Rises?
Yes, above Dark Knight. It's not above Dark Knight, but it's above Dark Knight Rises for me. Like I remember seeing in that theater that night. I was super stoned, so we even added more to it when I saw it that night. But it was just such a great experience. I didn't expect it, and I love just the grittiness, the rated R behind this. The ending of it made me cry.
I mean, the guy with the bionic hand didn't do anything. I was expecting something.
Yeah, he was kind of a waste. He was
just a waste.
But I was also watching Narcos. He was the main guy in Narcos. Maybe
I love him. Well. He's so good. Yeah.
He's so good in Narcos. Okay, well then, am I crazy? Did anyone else here really like that movie, or am I the only one that loved it?
I really liked it. I didn't like love it, but I really liked it. Stephen Merchant stole the show for me. Obviously, he's one of my favorite actors.
When I love a movie, I see it multiple times. I saw it once in theaters.
Okay, all right.
Fair
Lindsay
enough.
didn't love it as much as me either. I think at the time, it was just against the grain. It was something different than what you'd seen for a superhero movie, which I liked it too. And now maybe we're used to it with fucking Infinity War coming out. It was almost got nominated for an Oscar as well, just because, again, it's more of a character story. Again, it can seem boring.
Also, like the fact that before it came out, it was announced that this was his last outing.
Yeah.
And same with Patrick Stewart. That didn't happen. And just like so it was like, how long had he been playing Wolverines? Like
since 2000,
20 years? Like not 20 years, but like
no, it's 24 at this point. 24 at this point.
So yeah, like there's a ton to it. Like so the fact that he had said long before this was the last one, which isn't the case now, but like was a big enough reason to get people in the theaters, I think.
Yeah. All right, Brad. Anything else you want to say, you piece of shit?
What's my next homework assignment?
I don't know. We'll have to think about that. I'm pretty bummed out.
You got to do scary movie. It's got to be something scary. It's October.
It is.
Yeah, what have you not seen? Yeah. Well, I feel like Brad, you guys grew up seeing scary movies. Are there any you haven't seen?
Maybe after this topic, when we all discuss our scariest scenes, if you haven't seen any of those.
Maybe we'll do that. That's a very good.
We're gonna go over some movies, so.
Oh, dude,
we'll be some to pick from, possibly.
Yep. I can't.
Wait. That's all I got.
Hey, that's fine.
Sorry, I just did. That's why when you texted me, I was like, I gotta wait. I don't want to ruin your day.
Then I'll go into it. Yeah, you're right. That's a very smart idea. Okay, completely understand, Kenny. And then we'll move on to the movie scenes. But Kenny, we just saw episode 1 of Loki. What'd you think, my friend?
Loved it so much. I haven't seen Owen Wilson in a minute, and then I loved it so much that on Saturday I just wanted to watch Zoolander because I've been wanting to rewatch it. I'd kind of been on a Ben Stiller kick for super randomly, but then I wanted to watch Zoolander, decided to wait. And then Loki came back out. I was like, Owen Wilson, fuck yeah, let's go. Let's watch Zoolander again. It was really good. The banter between Tom and Owen are just so fun to watch, and the visual effects look great. And it was just the first episode, but like so hooked. Like the end of the first episode was like super climactic, and like it's just exciting, and I'm super ready for the rest of the season.
It's regenerated Owen Wilson's career. I mean, that's why he's getting other movies now too. By the way, Seek, I didn't introduce Kenny to you. I think you've met his wife, Sydney. It's Lindsay's like best friend from back in high school. It's like her, Holland, and then Sydney always hanging out with each other.
Yeah.
So that they live in LA now.
Oh, when I showed off my gray shitty underwear, because
no. That's Paige. That's Paige.
No, yeah, basically we were all playing. Like I go to this hotel room. Kevin's like, "Oh, it's all like Lindsay's hometown friends," and then we're playing that like heads up drinking game where it's like, "Oh, everyone has to do something." And then it was like Kevin and Anthony like show everyone your underwear, and we were both. Kevin was wearing brown underwear, and I was wearing like gray, like just the worst, like not the Lulus, not the Brady brands. Like it couldn't have been anything nice. It was just like the shittiest Hanes like had for way too long, and I was just like, geez, way to walk into a hotel room full of girls and immediately be like, yeah, I wear dirty underwear. No, it's not dirty, but it's.
I mean, it's old. It's just weird.
It's old.
I've been
it's old.
Yeah.
If it was worn, it's dirty.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think you would have met Sydney her at St. Patty's Day 2020, actually.
Oh,
on the boat. She was on the boat with us.
The last.
She came to my apartment after the boat.
Oh, no shit. Wait, did we not?
Your apartment, quite nice. I gotta say that. I was like, is that a fake background? That's a nice place.
What, this?
Yeah.
Oh no, this is my house. This is not the Chicago apartment.
They moved out to LA.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
Yeah. Lovely. Yeah, Kenny. Damn, man, Kenny. Well, I wish I would have came over and hung out, but that's okay. Nobody invites me to anything.
My mom invited you to stuff.
I just invited everyone to my podcast. All right, cool, man. Yeah, I agree with Loki. It just anytime they were bantering together, it was fantastic. I think I'm really excited. I can't wait for us to do a Loki episode, like kind of what we did with the last Star Wars episode, where when it's the season finale, we talk about the future of the MCU, things like that too. But yeah, it's
also
it's
real quick. They made Kang. It's like he wasn't in it. Jonathan Majors' Kang, but like they made his presence so much scarier than Ant-Man and the Wasp did. Like it's so sad that he had. I wish he would have escaped and like just left in Ant-Man and the Wasp. Like she shouldn't have lost to Ant-Man. Yeah. I love Paul Rudd and I love Ant-Man, but they took away any real threat of Kang. But Loki is bringing it back. Like he's a scary guy.
He's as scary as like Darth Vader. Like you kind of got that vibe a little bit. They definitely emphasize the
you don't see his face
of him.
You
don't even see
you just know his presence.
Yep. So hey man, I think it's gonna be a good show. I'm excited for episode 2, even though I've heard episode 2 isn't as good as episode 1, but I've heard 3 and 4 are just fantastic. So it's gonna be a good show. I love the 70s aesthetic as well. I love Obi. I love Kihoy Kwan as Obi as well.
Oh my god, he's killing it. I love him. I hope he's a regular. I hope he's in every episode.
I hope he is. I'm hearing the rumor. There's a theory that he might be Kang. There's a theory. Yeah, I don't know how. Don't.
Kang's a big black man. Oh, okay. A small Asian boy to a big black. I mean, hey, anything's possible.
Anything's possible in the MCU, man. Cool, man.
He's the tech guy, so maybe.
I don't know what it is. I didn't watch the video. I just saw a headline and I kind of was like, oh, cool. That'd be kind of fun to bring up. So, all right. Well, then that's late critique for this week out of our movie reviews. I've watched a couple of other movies, but nothing to run home. We can do it maybe on the next episode. But the main event for tonight's episode is our top 5. Actually, you know what? I did 7. I did top 5, but I also had a couple of just why not. Scariest movie scenes in TV and film is a part of our spooky series here at Filmaholics. And that's why we have Sequit here today, who I would call one of our resident horror fans. Just give us a little background into your horror fanship and just I feel you kind of got me into horror even more back when we were roommates.
Yeah, so originally I was cursed as a child because my dad told me It was a funny movie at like 8 years old. And I watched it and was petrified of clowns my entire childhood, petrified of anything scary for a while. But I think that long scared period of my life until like 13, those 5 years really hardened me, and then it made me love them. And then, in middle school, high school, honestly, college, like pretty much after that, like just would love just watching scary movies with a crew. It's never like an alone thing. I feel like that's kind of a weird move. Even if you just really just like it for the art of the movie, like I don't really care. If you're watching a scary movie, it's always fun with the crowd, seeing other people's reactions, you reacting, like everyone just kind of being in it together, being like, oh shit, this is gonna be crazy.
Yeah.
And then so it's just like I think they're just fun. Like, I feel like they just most of the time they know what they are, and you just have fun when you watch a scary movie.
Yeah.
You always feel something.
Yep.
If it's a decent one.
Exactly. Even if it's not decent, it's the hope of it being kind of scary.
Yeah, exactly.
Sometimes it can be amazing too. Yeah, I agree. I mean, gosh, do you guys remember it back in high school? Like going to see those Paranormal Activity movies? That was an event.
Oh yeah,
midnight release.
Midnight premiere.
Oh,
all of them. They were great. On my list. My list. One of the scenes.
There's one of them too.
Because it's just such a fixture as far as just my scary movie life that I had to put one on the list. So
Naturally, yeah. And I think myself, I was scared of seeing scary movies until probably like 16 when I was trying to like be impressing girls. So a lot of mine, I didn't see a lot of movies. That's why until I was in my 20s, because I was so afraid to do it. Because I'm a little bitch. So deep down in my heart, I'm a little baby. So I think because Seek, you are the guest. I think how we should do this. If we have anyone who has the same scary scene as, let's say, what Secord says or Kenny or Brad says. Did Vu ever text us his poo poo scenes?
His Vu poo scenes?
Yeah, his Vu poo scenes.
Let me just quickly check here.
Yeah, I don't think I saw any. I'd be surprised if we saw one horror film.
He was hard to think about one, but he said The Conjuring and Children of the Corn.
Yeah.
Were the two movies that made Vu poo.
Okay. All right. Hey, no, that's completely fine. All right. Well, Seek, just because you're the guest here today, my friend, I'd like for you to go first. Then we'll go Kenny second, Brad third, and I'll go last. And then if we have anybody who agrees with yours, we'll talk about it. We'll go into it and let's have some fun. Let's get scarred.
Let's get scarred.
All right. So it's like a list of 5. Hold on, I put it in my notes.
Or however more you want. Whatever you want.
Are you guys able to still see me?
No.
Okay.
That's okay. It's probably better for the viewer.
Yeah. Okay.
You're gonna do a jump scare.
Yeah.
I'm back.
So speaking of, I put a lot of this list into the foundational movies of my, the ones that really stick out to me.
Okay.
I told you I watched as a young child.
19. Oh yeah, the 19 ones. Yeah, sorry.
I mean, honestly, both like even the new one, I don't find them to be the scariest now. Like even the new one, I thought was an incredible movie. I was just like, it's spooky for sure, but I was not like, oh my God, this is horrifying.
Right.
But the scene, the opening scene when the clown Pennywise bites the kid's arm off as he's reaching in, absolutely terrifying. Just a little kid getting his arm bit off and then dragged into the sewer. Yeah. I mean, that's a scene that just sticks with you. Like it's just it's crazy. It's crazy.
Did you think the new It did a great job of doing the same thing that the original It did with that scene?
I thought the new It was incredible.
Yeah.
I thought the new It, both of them were a great movie. I like the first one more.
I did too.
But I really, really enjoyed the new It. I thought it was just like a good movie. Like not even just good scary movie, good movie.
Did anybody else have It on theirs?
Nope.
So I have It as one of mine. And I have 7 because there's 2 of them from when I was a kid that scare me. It was one of them. It's the scene in the original one from the 90s, if you remember this, where he's near the river. And I lived next to a river growing up. And near the river, there was a balloon floating. So we went down to go see it. And it was his father. He was seeing his father down there. And his father's like, come down here. Let's go fish or hang out and, come in the water. Kind of
just like that.
Just like that. And he ended up just becoming he's like, I'm your father. And he kept going to the water. And he's like, Dad, you can't swim. You're dead. Kind of a thing. And out comes that fucking Pennywise. And I'm like, again, 5 years old at the time, however old I might be, watching that, maybe even younger. And it just petrified me, bro. I didn't see it in theaters. My mom was watching it, I think, on TV, and I just happened to join in on the fun, guys.
It, especially as a child, very spooky.
So that's
coming after kids.
Yeah. There's a reason to remake that movie. There's not a lot of remakes out there, and they did well with it.
Oh, also, sorry if you can hear some overlap. Christina's watching Paranormal Activity: The Ghost Dimension right now.
Which one is that?
The
fourth
sixth one.
Sixth.
No, because I think or fifth maybe because it's Paranormal Activity 1, 2, 3, and then no, it's the sixth because then it's Paranormal Activity Coven. I think then it's I think it's either the fifth or sixth. We've been watching all of them, so she's finishing off. I actually haven't seen this last one, but I'll get back to it and rewatch. It's the only one I haven't seen.
All right,
I didn't know there were 4, 5, and 6. I think I knew 4, but 5 and 6. I didn't know there were 5 and 6.
Yeah, I think they pumped out a 7th like 2 years ago. But
oh wow,
which is the one which had the old women at the end of it? That was like the scariest part.
That's a great segue. I got that on my list.
Oh, 3. Okay.
Great segue. When he thinks he goes over to the other part of the house and is like, oh God. And then the camera starts working and there's all the women from the coven. And it's just like, oh my God.
Yes.
What the
naked.
fuck? Oh. Yeah, they're naked and they're.
Oh my God.
That fucked me up.
I also had Paranormal Activity 3 on my list.
I also did.
Of all the, I mean, I think I only watched 1 through 4, if even 4. But 3 was the scariest for me because just the little girls making more.
Dude.
And then that was the Bloody Mary scene because I had the bathroom up in their little loft room upstairs, and like no scenes particularly. My whole list isn't scenes; they're just the movies themselves. But Paranormal 3 is the worst one for me. It's just scary.
I think the ending of it.
The ending's crazy. The ending
was that.
Have you guys seen the one with the Hispanic guy in LA?
Is that 4?
Is that 4?
Yeah, that's 4.
Yeah.
I think I've seen it.
Yeah, that one we just watched that and like watching them back, like not in theaters, like kind of with some perspective and everything. Like I think like 4 was definitely I think the overall like I was like, whoa, this one was scarier than I remember.
It was more of a story.
Yeah, it was. I liked it because it was a little different. Because instead of like a family, it was like 2 high school like kids in like a Mexican neighborhood in LA. So it was just like very different than the others, but like still, and like the possessions were a little different. It was different, but also very scary.
Okay.
Very.
Does it tie back to 1, 2, and 3 at all?
Oh yeah,
1, 2, and 3 was about this. Oh, it is okay. Because 1, 2, and 3 is the same family that just goes like prequel, right?
Yep. Yeah. So exactly. So this one's like basically same coven, and just like basically the kid is like a neighbor to someone in the coven, and then like snoops, and then you know what happens when you snoop on a coven.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then the 5 and 6 also. It's still all tied together still.
Yeah, I think they're all tied together. It's all about like the same like cult essentially, and then it's just like different time periods, different locations, and who's being affected. But it's all like the same cult and ghost and everything. I don't know. I just caught the beginning of this last one, so I think this is 5 then, because I think 4 was the Mexican kids, and then this is the next one, so it must be 5.
Wait, so did any of you guys have 1 or no? The fan scene for me.
I did.
The scene in the original that was started, it was that. Yeah, I'll go into mine later, but we can talk about it when Brad does it. But yeah, Seek, you're up, man.
All right, and then so this is gonna. I know I'm going out of order. This is my number 1. I just want to get my number 1 out of the way. Okay. I don't know if we're ranking, but
you don't.
My all-time favorite horror movie, Sinister, and two scenes stick out to me. But specifically, I think it's like mowing the lawn 86, and he just sticks the VCR in, and he's watching it on his projector like, oh, what are these VCRs that are in my attic? And then it's just a lawnmower going across a dark yard, and then it's mowing a family's face, just like mowing over people's faces that are tied up in a dark yard. And I mean, just that whole movie. I mean, there's so many things. Like I said, it's my favorite overall horror movie. The scene where the kids are in the attic when he goes up there. Just all of the film scenes, when their family's getting burned alive, when they're getting pulled into the pool, tied to the pool chairs.
Dude, I don't think I've seen this movie.
I don't think I saw Sinister. I know the like cover of it because it's scary shit, and I didn't want to watch it because of the cover.
So maybe homework for you guys. If you want to get spooked this holiday season, I maybe.
Is this a scene? Like it's like that's what it is, lawnmower.
Yeah, and right in front of there, you're gonna see people's faces, and they
go.
Oh
my God! How is that even legal? Oh my god!
And the thing is, it's not
Did you-
gory. Like you're not seeing blood.
No, I'm not gonna watch it. I just wanted to just like let people know what the scene was like. Okay, interesting.
Is the
Yeah.
sequel as good as the first one then?
No. I mean, I watched the sequel. I think again, like I said before, I watched the sequel once. I said, "Hey, I saw it," and it was fine. I don't remember hating it, but I don't remember loving it. Don't remember much about it, to be honest. But like I said, Sinister is my favorite overall. There's so many good scenes. The story, just everything about it is great. And keep creepy kids fuck with me, like because I feel like there are just creepy kids exist in the real world where you just see like a kid who's just like, who's behind you, and you're like, I don't know. 99% of the time they're messing with you, but 1% of the time they see a demon. So it's
Did you know there was some rumblings when Sinister was out. Well, it was on the same time as Insidious. James Wan was pushing to collab them and to make a crossover movie called Insidious. Wait,
in Sinister?
No, in Sinister. Yeah. That
would be sick. That would be sick. Because, like, I mean, the demon in Sinister, just all of it great. Highly recommend you two watch it. It's spooky. It's definitely really, really spooky. Now I'm going to throw back to it's very similar to Paranormal Activity, where it's an indie horror movie that kind of just gained was just so good that it gained traction, but it didn't quite gain the same traction that Paranormal Activity is. That's Grave Encounters.
Oh, is it Grave Encounters of the Fourth Kind? Is that or no?
No. It's just called Grave Encounters, and it's basically this guy is creating his own ghost hunting show, and they go to an insane asylum in Canada somewhere. And
not the Canadians.
Oh no!
And basically, I mean, the same because it's like like a ghost show. They're like, we're locking ourselves in. We're staying here the night, and things go off the rails, as you may expect. But it's like low budget, and so there's not like a lot of like CGI. At least there's a second one where there is more CGI, but it's like there's very like little, like they just it's really just more like good jump scares, like good like setting up and everything. But I guess I'm gonna ruin it because I thought we were talking about scenes. My favorite scene, he's running through like the gutter or the tunnels underneath. What are they called? Sewers. He's running through the sewer. He found his way to like the sewers underneath. He's running away. He finds like a door and he goes through the door, and it's just this like ghost doctor performing a lobotomy. And then they just look at him, and then there's a nurse behind him, closes the door, drags him in, and that's cut to black. And it's like the whole thing was about how many lobotomies happened at this hospital. And it's like, oh yeah, and it's just like, it's a crazy movie. And it's like I said, it's an indie, really, they did a great job.
Is it that scene?
Oh,
no, it's that scene with the man, I believe.
That guy?
No,
right here. Oh
yeah.
Yeah.
Sydney and I were just looking up like lobotomies and like what that entails and like why it's a thing, why it was a thing even, and blah blah blah. I'm scared.
Both of those movies are very scary.
Oh my God.
Yeah, very scary. And like, it's just kind of like a, tip of the hat to the movie makers. Cause again, it's just it just kind of shows prove like you don't need a big budget to make a good movie. Like these were low budget indie films, and like, yes, they're horror. So it's maybe an easier genre or whatever, but it's just like they made an original concept, did it to the best of their abilities and made great movies.
Sometimes
like Paranormal Activity, I looked it up, cost like $300K to make the whole movie.
Just specifically the first one, though.
Yeah, and then they made $200 million box office.
Yeah, holy shit.
Yeah, and it's just like it's just like if you want to make a good movie, it's original concepts rule. So
I agree. Did you got one more, or is that it?
Yeah. Let me look at my. Oh, and then so basically, I had Us. When you find out it's the original family trying to get back.
I almost put Us. Yeah.
Like, just, it's like that moment it's not even like a scene. It's just like, or like scary in a scene wise. It's just like the moment when you realize, oh, that family's just trying to get back, and they're not the demons. They're like the ones that trapped. and like they seem like I thought they were the demons all the time. That fucked with me. I was like, damn, that's terrifying. And then also there's a movie called The Taking of Deborah Logan. I don't know if you guys have seen that.
No.
It's a movie about people like a student group studying an Alzheimer's disease. And well, this lady that they're studying doesn't have Alzheimer's, is possessed by a demon. And
classic mix-up.
Yeah, classic.
Classic.
And there's a scene where the old lady eats one of them, and it's
I've seen this trailer. Oh,
yeah, her jaw just like breaks down and like goes to the floor and just engulfs. And it's pretty terrible. And it's like a 90-year-old woman, just like, classic confused old person. You're just like, oh, they're just confused. And it's like, no, not confused. Demon. And I feel like those are the ones that get to me, where it's like, I run into lots of weird kids. I run into lots of confused old people, and it's just like
they're gonna eat me.
Yeah, it's like those ones that are just like, hey, there's things you see all the time. Yeah, demons. Those are the ones that get to me. And so yeah, that was my list. I feel like there's so many horror movies, like having watched them for so long, that I haven't rewatched and forget. Like, I feel like there's just a lot.
I only gave Seek an hour and a half to think about this.
Yeah, and
I came up with a pretty goddamn good list.
And I tried to I definitely Googled it. I was like, okay, what are some scary scenes in movies I've seen? I was like going through just to like look up like, okay, what are like, and there was movies like Google brought up like The Babadook, which is like super highly rated. I remember watching it, and I don't remember a thing. I don't remember a thing from the movie. I was like, I remember watching this, and there was like,
the car scene.
Yeah.
Is it good? Like, should I watch? I almost watched it a couple days ago.
It's a good movie.
Yeah.
It's a good movie.
It's good. Okay.
Yeah. And so there's just like, and there was more like that where I'm just like, oh, I remember this movie. Don't remember the scene. I'm not going to talk about it because like, I feel like that's very disingenuous. So I'm just like, but there was just so many. I'm just like, dang, it made me realize I was like, I guess I really got a lot of movies to rewatch.
Yeah, man. No, dude, that was a great choice. That's good. Hey, from the horror expert, Secor, thank you so much for going through that, my friend. Great start, man. Great start. I think Kenny, if you want to go next, you're up, man.
Sure.
Because I want Brad to go before me because he's seen a lot more than me. My list is, again, not very good.
I think this one is probably going to be on someone else's list. I saw Kevin's list on a doc, but Hereditary, that movie, no scene specifically because the whole movie is just fucked. But like, there's a similar scene from Hereditary to the Coven part of Paranormal 3. Like at the end when it's like the which people are revealed. That was that happened in Hereditary, right? Am I mixing things up?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, you're definitely right. You're definitely right.
That whole movie was just fucked. But if there was one specific scene that caught me the most off guard was like when the main woman was like had that like horrified face because she saw her son with all the bugs on his face. But then he was like, "Mom," and she wakes up and he's fine.
Yes.
That
God.
one was the worst one for me, which is like isn't even that bad. I don't like bugs, so that was bad. That was a bad scene for me.
Same. To fuck with all of you, I almost sent a picture of that little girl's head to you guys, just to get yourself ready. Because that fucked with me.
Which, speaking of,
is that one of yours?
Yeah. So the list that Kenny was saying, that's actually my list. But
let's just talk about Hereditary. I have one for Hereditary too.
Because I think Hereditary is the scariest movie that I've ever seen. And that scene that you mentioned with the little girl, I think that is the scene where I lost my breath for the longest amount of time.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't breathe because of when it happens. And then the post where he drives home and then you wait. Yeah. And then the mother finds it. Like that was the longest where I didn't breathe in any movie.
Yeah.
The trailers made you think that the girl was the main character of the whole movie.
Yes.
And then within 10 minutes, she's dead. Like, oh my god, that was nuts.
Brilliant.
Yeah, so cool.
Yeah.
So cool.
No, they really,
it was very, very similar to Midsommar, how like the beginning of the movie is her crying because you find out.
Great pronunciation.
Is it not? It's
Midsommar. It's just
it might be.
Guys.
I don't know.
Whatever. Midsommar, and they're crying because the parents killed themselves. It's very similar to that scene. It reminds me of that scene in Hereditary because it's just like so. Oh, and you know what? They don't even like sugarcoat it. Don't they just like put it out there, like just to fuck with you.
The whole movie just doesn't let you breathe, honestly.
No,
the whole movie doesn't let you breathe. I can't. It's on our list. Christina hasn't seen it. Really excited. She need to watch it this October.
Get ready.
And I'm pumped for her to watch it.
Ooh.
Speaking of Midsommar, I'm gonna call it Midsommar.
Why not?
Midsommar. Christina and I discussed. I feel like other than the opening scene, it's honestly more of like a thriller than a scary movie.
That scene where they're just getting chucked off the cliff really fucked with me too.
Yeah, no, I mean it's definitely like eerie, but it's not like these people are willingly like I don't know. A lot of it's like it's. I once define it as like the scariest movie rather than just like a mind fuck, just being just like, oh my god, what was that? Rather than being like, oh my god, that was terrifying. Like I'm not going to sleep tonight. You're just like, what the fuck?
It's like an environmental fear for me. Like
environment.
It's like, what the fuck is this whole place? And like these innocent people are now just like they're in the wolf's den.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
I didn't see Midsommar. I wanted to, but I didn't get around to see it.
It's a great movie.
It's like
an overall just like good movie. And I'm not, like I said, it's not going to be one, at least for me, like wasn't like, oh, this is terrifying. Like I'm going to think about this when I open my closet and something.
It's more like, fucked. Yeah,
it's just a fucked movie. It's just fucked.
Yeah. I completely agree. So I want to bring back. Do you guys remember the scene in Hereditary? This was mine. Was the mom in the corner when he's sleeping?
Oh yeah.
And you just see her climbing fucking.
Oh
god, that made me go, oh my god! Like I freaked the hell out there.
Any like horror, like demon possession movie where they're like climbing shit and they're like legs are all weird. That's just that. No, just get that. That happens in Paranormal Activity at some point. Doesn't it? I don't know. Yeah. In one of them, those are just so bad. Don't climb. It's not.
What do you got? What do you got next, Kenny? Sorry.
My second one is Barbarian. That one came out last year. Did you guys watch it?
See, thank you. I'm a fan of Barbarian. Seek's not a fan of Barbarian.
Oh, you didn't like it?
I love
the first. I love the build-up. The build-up, some of the best I've ever seen. So I really thought the demon ghost inbred lady was very.
Yeah, I mean it's tough. Once like the curtain gets pulled away, it's tough.
I thought the curtain pulling away. Like I didn't think they needed to go that wild. Like they could have made it like. It didn't need to be some like 10-foot superhuman demon or like, inbred monster. Like it could have been very normal people just having this fucked lair. Like I don't know, the buildup was just so scary to me. And like, I was like scared to look at the screen of what's going to happen next. And then once she was revealed, I literally laughed. It made me laugh out loud when she was like, Pepe. And like I was just kept doing that. I was like, it became like, I don't know, a joke to me. But I did think the buildup was some of the most. That was like my opinion. It was just like the buildup was incredible. I was terrified to even look at the screen of like what's gonna happen.
Because it starts with like scary basement, and then scary like essentially rape room.
Yeah,
and then scary rape dungeon.
Yeah, it just gets scary.
It just keeps going next step up.
Like it's the buildup was so good, and then just once you start seeing what the monster looks like, it just kind of takes the scare away. I felt like it took a bit to get used to the monster. I could not look at it for a bit. It was just so much shock value. Plus, I was probably high. It was
this isn't me trying to demean. It's just giving my opinions.
No, you're not wrong for thinking that, Kenny. I think 3/4 of us agree.
Yeah, perfect. The majority wins.
This guy doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about.
All right, next on my list was Paranormal Activity 3, which we've already discussed. And then fourth, there's multiple. Have you guys seen the VHS movies?
That's a movie I want to get into. Yes.
I love them. I love anthology. So I've said to you in previous episode or whatever, I love like limited series over more than movies or shows. Like I like things that are like anthology series, like they're just short stories, things that are beginning and end. And so the VHS movies, the concept of them, they're just these little anthology horror movies. The premise of it's always like people. The first one is people break into this guy's house and he has all these VHS tapes and they play them, and that's what these shorts are. And then at the end of the movie, just bad stuff happens. But like it's not super important to the main. There is no plot to it. It's just all these fucked up like little stories. And the first one, so there's 3 of them, and I believe a 4th one's coming out. There's VHS 1 and 2, and then the 3rd one's called something. It's called VHS something
And
else.
it's like a number, right? Or something
What is
like
it?
that.
What's it on? I now have homework because I haven't seen this or heard of it even. So I'm curious.
I think it used to be on Netflix, but
It's okay. I can look it up
Tube.
later.
It's on
you can look it up later.
Yeah.
I don't know,
VH,
but those ones are really
things
good.
about these.
Mm-hmm. Some of the bits, some of the shorts are whatever, but some are really fucked up. They really range from like demonic stuff to just fucked up people, or they have it all.
Nice.
So the visual effects could be better, but you can tell it's low budget, so it's fine.
It's a
but
VHS,
right?
So you can't have.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But like those ones, they really fucked me. But like to the point that I've rewatched them multiple times because I like that one. I like the thrill of those ones for some reason.
Okay.
So
I love that.
Would definitely recommend. And then my 5th, which I haven't actually seen, but I just know is super messed up, is the Terrifier movies 1 and 2. Have you guys?
I haven't heard of those either.
I've heard of them.
More of an indie, right?
Yep.
So yeah, it is, but like Terrifier 2 was like straight up banned in like so many countries. It's super gory, super just
clown or something, right?
It's a clown. It's this clown, yeah.
Yeah, I've heard.
Like I haven't seen them, but I read the synopsises of them both, and I watched the trailers and both. Like I want to watch them, but I don't think I'm ever going to. They're just like it's too fucked up. I think
gore just doesn't do it for me. Like it's
it's
just kind of disgusting.
Yeah,
like I thought Saw did the best job of like being gore, but like spooky and like
thrilling.
I thought, and like thrilling, like actually have. But a lot of times, like The Hills Have Eyes in those movies, I'm just like, this is just hostile. Yeah, I'm just like, this is just super gross, and like I'm scared because it's gross rather than it's actually scary. Like I'm just like, anyone can put like fake, drilling into eyeballs and like weird, just like torture shit, and it's like, oh yeah, of course I'm gonna be scared. That's a terrifying thing, but I feel like but overall, I'm like not a gore guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I agree totally. So I don't know if they're scary other than just the gore stuff, but just the fact that it's been banned in countries.
Yeah, I do respect that. If you can get banned, that's a good level.
Yeah, and then I just remembered it now. That was my 5. But honorable mention is a movie called Southbound, which is the same premise as VHS. It's there's this one main story, but these people keep getting sidetracked in these other short stories. Again, they're just these.
Oh, it's another. Okay, I like
stuff.
that.
Is it the same director? Did you just look it up? I don't remember if it's the same director.
Who's Radio Silence? Is that like a band or something? I just looked up. It has good reviews. It also has a good Rotten Tomato score. Just never heard of it.
Yeah. So Southbound.
Refill my wine.
Oh, sorry, Chase. Jeez. I think VHS 1 would be like if I was going to rank VHS 1, 2, and Southbound, I would say VHS 1, Southbound, VHS 2. Southbound, honestly, maybe Southbound maybe tied with VHS 1. It's just really entertaining.
Right.
It just hooks you
My
in.
list is so bad compared to you guys. Like it's so like mainstream. You guys actually give like good like scary movies. I like this scary scene.
I feel like scary movies are hard. Like I've been having this scary movie itch for a while. Me and Cindy have been trying to watch some scary movies, but I haven't filled that or haven't satisfied.
Yeah, I'm so glad it is gone. Barbarian was great. Okay, I don't
Barbarian was good.
Yeah,
it was so scary. I like couldn't sleep.
Yeah. Oh, he's got his headphones in.
Oh, I'm here. I was here. Fuck me? No, fuck you. I'm kidding.
Oh my god.
That was Brad. I don't know why Brad said that.
Awesome, man.
But that's my list. Yeah. I really would recommend VHS and Southbound. You guys.
I know I've heard of VHS a lot recently. So I want to watch it.
Do go try to see it if you can.
Cool, man. All right, Brad, you're up, my friend.
All right, so Paranormal Activity 3 was one of mine because I think that ending, it was like 10, 15 minutes long. Truly incredibly scary. Yeah. Especially when he has the camera.
It's one of the scariest endings I've ever seen.
The husband's walking up the stairs and all of a sudden he sees his toes of his wife just hovering.
Oh my god. That was unreal.
And then he looks up and like she attacks him and then his spine gets broken. I mean, I couldn't look in the rear view mirror when I was driving home at 2 a.m. because I was so scared.
Yeah. If I remember the movie wasn't that scary leading up into that, right? I mean, of course, it's like you're in a theater with other people.
Anytime
it's still, like,
when little girls are screaming and in danger, it fucked with me. So that's
they weren't
why...
twins, were they?
No, I
they
think
just
older,
were around the same age. Yeah,
because it was
they look.
It's the sisters from the first and second movie.
Yeah.
Mm.
God, they just look so. If they were blonde, it would have been less scary. But they had black hair, of course.
Yeah.
But I also had Hereditary, which we don't need to keep getting into. But is
there a specific scene that you're like, this is it? Kills me.
I think it's that head scene. Like, it's not pure horror, but it just I just couldn't breathe for like 10 minutes. I couldn't believe what I saw, because, like you said, like I was expecting her to be throughout the whole movie, and then she's gone in the first 20.
And then she's back at the end, technically, right?
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Her like body is used, I believe, for the
my God, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they want to take his body, the brother's body. Yeah.
What a weird looking guy.
The one childhood thing that I had, since you guys all kind of had childhood things, was I saw the trailer of The Ring and Grudge, and it was so scary that I couldn't see it when I was young. So, like,
same. Yeah.
I just was so scared that I couldn't even see that.
I was even scared of it because of the horror movie or Scary Movie 3 had Grudge in it.
Yeah.
And that even scared me.
And The Ring.
Scary Movie 3 had The Ring. Scary Movie 4 had Grudge.
Is that what it was? Okay.
Fun fact, since those movies originally were made in Japan and then they made American versions of them, America never made this one, but Japan, they made a crossover between The Ring and The Grudge. So someone watched the Ring tape inside the Grudge house. And so both of them are in the movie. Both of them are trying to kill. I don't know if they're fighting each other. It's Avengers.
Is it decent?
I didn't watch it. There's no way. There's no way I'm watching it. But I just know
Japanese horror universe.
Yeah. I watched it. Yeah. I watched a trailer for it, but like I'm not watching it. Those movies scare me so much. So no way.
Nice.
And then I think the movie that used to be my scariest movie until Hereditary was The Conjuring. When I saw that in theaters, I almost pissed myself. And the scene that I'm going to mention, I don't even think it's overall a scary scene or memorable for people, but for whatever reason, I think it caught me off guard so much that I was on the verge of pooing myself. But it's when the two sisters, they're sleeping together, and one of them like keeps sleepwalking, and so one gets up and she keeps hitting her head on the cabinet.
Oh my God! Yeah.
And then the other sister gets up, stops her from hitting it, and then I think she looks in the cabinet, nothing, and then she closes it, and the camera immediately shoots up, and it's the demon staring at him. And I think it was just it was shot so perfectly that I just was taken off complete guard, because they open the cabinet and there's nothing in there, so you think you're safe. And then it looks up, and I was like, I almost pooped myself during that scene.
Yeah.
Are those? Can we see? Are those actually? Have they confirmed like the videotapes that they've like released about? They're not released or whatever. The videotapes we've all heard about the people. Are they real? Have they been confirmed that that's like them not acting or faking it? Because I thought one of them, there was a second one. Aren't they in Europe or for the second? I was
about to say, like, the part about the Conjuring and series that's so scary is that you look it up and it's all based on like action. Because like Paranormal Activity says it's based on real events and that they're real tapes, but it's like, it's not. But then you look up the Conjuring and there's like, oh no, here's the picture of the people.
The recording at the end of the second one.
Yeah, and it's like, here's all the long articles about them, and there was newspaper articles at the time, and it's like, you can find them all.
They showed like news clippings and stuff at the end of every movie for like.
And it's just like, and it's like you fact check it on your own. And you're like, oh no, it's there. This to a point was real, and it's just like,
you don't think it was somebody schizophrenic? No schizophrenia.
It was like a whole, like it was like look it up.
I know exorcism are the scariest things in the world to me. Like that's just the idea that it could be real. It is real, essentially. I just wonder the people who are doing it, if it is real. That's all. I believe it. I completely believe it. I'm 100% behind it. I just wonder like how real it is, I guess, sometimes. But I do believe that it is real. Sorry, Brad.
You're all right. My final one, Paranormal Activity 1. I think
That's
that was the original, and I'm someone that, I don't believe that Paranormal Activity is real or any of that, but I like to really get into it and just like get into the moment. And so the scene, not the finale, but I think it's like the semi-finale. It's when her leg gets like pulled out from the covers, and then you're like, oh shit. And all of a sudden she gets pulled in the other room, and her screech at that scene was so piercing that I just like remember the butterflies that I got listening to that. Because then she'd scream, Micah, Micah, and he'd come running like, oh.
Did the door shut too, or is that a different
door shut too?
The door shuts.
And that's how he woke up, and he runs out.
Yes, because it's so quiet.
Like she comes back in immediately, but just the fact that it happened. Oh my god.
Yeah.
So
And
scary.
they did such a good job in the Paranormal Activity movies of just making the people so normal. And it was just like, I think because of their budget and everything, like there was nothing like, it would just all just felt so just like this could be you or me. Like this is just super normal, like regular ass people. And it was just like, one movie I really want to see that I haven't, and that it like pioneered that style of movie is Blair Witch Project.
Oh god, I saw that. Yeah.
And it's like that was like the first one. Apparently people puked in the movie theaters, but not because it was so scary, but because it's like a shaky cam. Like so it's like shaking the whole time. And so people apparently
not a perfect
literally
movie, but the
ending. No, the ending is what it is. Yes, it's the ending. Yes, I agree. Because it was really boring the first it's short. It's really short. It's only like an hour and 15 minutes. But
they pioneered that like first person cam, like shot yourself, like just people with a camcorder.
They also had no marketing behind it. So when they released it, you had no idea what was going into it. So
and everyone thought it was real. Everyone thought
it was real. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I bet your mom watched it and was like
my mom definitely didn't watch it. My mom.
Oh, she doesn't watch it. Oh, she doesn't
watch it. Definitely didn't watch it.
Your mom's so young to me, like so young.
Yeah, no, she likes movies. She likes to, but scary movies. No interest. Wouldn't ever watch.
Cool, man. All right, Brad. Is that
that's all I got?
No, those are good choices, man. I'll end it here, guys. Mine are not good, so I'm bringing it back to a couple childhood ones. These are two scenes. I told you the one really fucked with me. The second one that really messed me up, I don't know if it was just late at night. It was Courage the Cowardly Dog, and it was that goddamn man. There was the tablet scene where it was this ghost guy. And he's like, it's funny. I rewatched the scene recently. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? The ghost is like, you have the tablet. You gotta give me. And I'll
and the animation was different, wasn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Dog scene, ghost, and oh god, this guy. Okay, yeah, and I'm gonna share my screen here. Quick, present, share screen. All right, this guy. Do you recognize this guy?
Oh yeah. That's iconic Courage.
Yeah, that's like very iconic.
When I was younger, I just remember that put so much fear into me. And I was watching the scene, and he's like, "You have the tablet," and the grandpa's like, "I ain't got no tablet." And their entire lives are ruined because he just won't admit that he has this tablet. It's pretty funny. So
are there any more like children's shows that appear on children's networks that are just horror? Because like Courage the Cowardly Dog is one of a kind. I feel like
the Misadventures of Flapjack are probably maybe a close second. It's not the same, but it's like.
Is that out right now?
No, it was years ago.
Okay,
but it was just about this little sailor boy and this guy, but like they would just do these adventures and stuff. But like they were spooky. It was spooky-esque, similar to Courage. It was not as scary as Courage, but the art of it, the artwork of it is just creepy. If you look it up, I'm sure you'd see.
I would have scared me.
Okay, because I feel like Scooby-Doo, like I guess, really pioneered it, like making it kind of like scary, but it was never like actually that scary. It was just
back in the day, it was kind of scary. Honestly,
yeah, it was kind of scary.
The newer ones, not as much.
But then it was like Courage is just like, we're gonna actually make it terrifying. Like we're just gonna make this shit like legit, like ghosts, demons, like everything, and it's gonna be terrifying.
And it was funny because Courage is like, guys, like literally like telling these old ass people who just couldn't comprehend anything, who just brought it all upon them. They always brought it upon them. Sorry, and then my next one besides this one is the alien scene where the alien comes out of that person's chest. Alien, that put so much fear into me. great. That movie scared me. Actually, it's one of the scariest movies I've ever seen. I don't know if did you guys ever see that movie Alien?
Oh
Yep.
yeah,
Was it Aliens? Was it Alien or Aliens?
Alien.
Alien. Yeah.
That's the
I
sequel.
think Aliens was maybe the sequel. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm trying to remember which one the one where it came out of a chest was though.
For sure, the first.
It was the first. Okay, so
When
yeah,
he's on
that
the
one,
table.
Yep.
it was a horse. I mean, it was. I don't know
Yeah.
why, and he's just
No,
talking
it's
about how
scary
it hurts. Yeah, scary
Yeah.
movie for me. Number 3 is Jaws. Man, that scene where he takes out.
I don't fuck with water.
I hate sharks to this day. Yeah, I don't like deep water. I don't like ocean. When he takes out that girl, I think it might have been Jaws 2 actually. Or maybe it was Jaws 1. Yeah, he just takes a girl and you don't even see her get eaten up necessarily. But you just see the blood come up from the water. Freaked me out. Paranormal Activity, of course, man. And then I think, I haven't seen a ton. I thought, you know what? Saw used to really freak me out. Just because of the idea.
Saw's a freaky movie.
Yeah, that really used to freak me out.
And there's like 7 of them. And
Yeah.
I would literally just to like torture myself. I don't know. I didn't see all the Saw movies, but I would just look up Saw scary scenes. And it was just, and they're so demented.
Yeah.
They're all so demented, and you can just go through the series. It's a fucked YouTube hole.
Yep, I
At
bet.
one time.
Oh god, I couldn't imagine just watching minutes after minutes of just human torture.
Oh, it was the needles one that fucked with me.
Oof.
Where he's stuck in a thing of needles and everything he does. He has to find a key, I think, in the needles.
Yeah, they always got to find a key through gas, needles. It's all about finding a key.
The one where they had the race through glass. Yeah, it was always something.
It's always terrible.
But yeah, I mean, again, and then Conjuring's the scariest movie I've ever seen. But if we ever want to do like a scariest movies, we can do that too. I know you guys kind of did, but I didn't necessarily prepare that. But yeah, that's my list for us today. So
You and Kenny should do a live watch of Sinister. Just give it to the people.
I know, dude. Kenny, that would be kind of fun.
I want to. I'll see if Sid wants to. It's been one I've wanted to, and every time I scroll through horror movies, like I see it, and like I want to. It's on
It's
HBO
Ethan
Max,
Hawke, right?
Yep.
It's good and scary, but it's like also good, which I feel like there's a difference in horror movies. Like there's scary movies, and then there's good movies, and then there's good scary. It's good scary.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, hey everybody, this is the first rendition of our scariest scenes. I guess if we already did the scariest scenes, who needs to hear them again? Either way, doesn't matter. Stop overthinking things, guys. But we did it. First episode. This is so. Other than that, I mean, do you guys have any other comments? Anything else you guys want to just bring up before the
It's
end of
spooky
this episode
season. See your horror movies.
Yeah, see your horror movies. Yeah. Everybody, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure to be on here. We are Filmaholics episode. This is 11 or 12. Was that last week 10?
Last week was 10. No, wait, this is
12, isn't it?
This is 12 because you did
We're never gonna know.
Yeah, we're never gonna know. I think it's 12. So hey, everybody, episode 12 of Filmaholics. Check us out on Spotify. Check us out on, I think, Amazon. I think we might be also on Apple as well. I'm not 100% on Apple. I know we're on Amazon, Spotify. Check out our Instagrams. Like and subscribe. Share with your friends. Watch scary movies. And guys, it's been a pleasure. So hey, everybody, enjoy your night, enjoy your week, and have a fun Halloween. We'll chat later.
Peace out, Entourage.
Peace out.